What's up, guys? We're here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I was debating not to make this video, but I feel it is very important for me to share with myself and also other people who may care to want to know about my travels. So, I flew in from New York to Los Angeles. Yes, I had a delay, all that stuff, but my goal was to drive from Los Angeles all the way to Santa Fe, New Mexico. And this is what happened. So, driving that far, it's like I think hundreds of miles, at least 1,000 probably in total. I went to go see the Grand Canyon because that's the thing to do. And I also went to Flagstaff to stop for some food. And I went to New Mexico. I don't know what the name of the town was, but it was the first town first outside into New Mexico that I went to stop and get some gas. And I obviously stopped for gas in other places. So my point is that these two states, unfortunately, no matter how beautiful they are to me, are not worth seeing, and I'll tell you why. So, and I know there's more parts of the state. I know there's different things that I could go see, but when I get turned off from the beginning, I'm very, very hard-headed, and I personally probably will not be coming back here. These are probably some of the two worst states I've ever seen, and I'll tell you why. So, driving from Los Angeles into Arizona, I like to drive fast. That's my thing. I'll admit that. And obviously, I'm an Uber driver who's driven thousands of hours. Thousands of hours. I know roads. I understand where to slow down, where to speed up, all that kind of stuff. Yes, this is not my car, and it's not the most comfortable thing, so I do drive a little slower. My point is, I'm always respectful. I'm always never flashing anyone. I'm always keeping everything very legit. I respect the road. I understand it. I look at signs. I do everything I can. So if I'm unfamiliar with the road, I will say, since I said look at signs, then obviously that's a different story, because I know that there's some roads where they're meant for a trap, which we'll get into with the story. So my point is, driving in, eventually when you hit Arizona, the roads are completely empty and straight for miles. The most I've ever seen in my entire life, for miles. And it's like 2 lanes, and the left lane you could just zoom for miles. So when I'm in Arizona, I end up going to a road that's empty for miles. It's the middle of the day, and I decide to hit like 130, 140. And I'm using Waze because I don't have a radar detector, and unfortunately, from my research, even then, radar detectors are not the best thing when cops hit you with laser, because laser is pretty much unbeatable unless you have a jammer, which is a whole other story. Um, so what happened? So it's just so crazy. I still am so fathomed by it. My point is, I end up going probably. I'm speeding. I'm just gonna say that. The cop ended up assuming that I went 100. I don't know how much I did go to assume the guilt, but I just know that I'm a tourist and I see open road, and I've driven in roads before. I'm not saying that I was speeding or not to assume guilt or anything like that at that location and at that time that the officer pulled me over, but he pulled me over, uh, and when he pulled me over, at least with the first officer in Arizona, he said to me, he comes over to my side window, knocks on the window, says to me, do you know how fast you're going? I said, no, obviously you never assume guilt. And he's like, oh, okay, where are you going? And I said, listen, I'm going to the Grand Canyon. I have a tour, I'm running a little late, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, whatever, where's your insurance? It's a rental. So I give him the rental insurance and everything. And then I also explained to him my situation, etc., etc. And then he says, okay, I'll come back, blah, blah, blah. So, first of all, this guy ends up being a dick. That's number one. He definitely was just a dick. So he ends up asking me to come outside the car. That's number one. I've never seen that in my life, but I ended up finding out through my second pullover, which we'll get to in the story, that um, well, actually, he actually ended up telling me actually that. So, anyways, I ended up finding out that in Arizona, there's people with guns and people like to shoot up fucking cops. But my question is like, well, if they like to shoot you, why did you come over to my side window, uh, and then later ask me to step out the car? So that I don't get that. Like, why are you willing to walk up to my window in the beginning, but in the second turn you make me get out the car? That's why I never understood out here. Why would you? Why wouldn't you make me get out the car from the very beginning? Because like, what if I had a gun from the very beginning? I don't, but I'm just saying, like, what if I did and I shot you up on the first time? You just walked up to my window. So the second time, the only thing I could think of is like, for the second time, they know they're gonna give them a ticket. So since they're gonna give them a ticket, they know that probably someone's gonna get angry and shoot them right there. That's the only thing I'm thinking of. But I know there's some TikToks where I see people from Arizona and New Mexico that are cops trying to post that they're sexy and cool and whatever and blah blah blah. So I've seen that, like, oh, this is my age, this is my whatever. I've seen that on TikTok. So maybe there is a officer out there that would like to explain the scene. So I like to do my research, and I didn't do my research with these two states, but I will say that regardless, I ended up doing my research. All right. So I did my research after obviously getting pulled over 2 times. So these states out here are known for speed trapping people regardless of your speed. Even if it's a couple miles over, they just want to get you for speeding. And there was one video that said, oh, there was someone who hit a hole and died for hitting like a bump in the road, and they didn't know how to maneuver because of the road, because it was not, I guess, straight or something, and then they ended up killing themselves by flipping over. Which to me is like, okay, if you're going, let's say 5 miles over the speed limit and you end up flipping over, and by the way, the speed limit out here is 65 to 75. You must have probably freaked out from the bump, swerved your fucking wheel, and that's why you fucking got yourself killed. I'm not from out here, and I don't know how people die, so maybe there's a different story. But I'm just saying that I'm already turned off by these two states for the biggest reason that it's a game out here. You're not supporting tourism. You're supporting pulling people over to get their money through tickets. How the fuck does that make sense? You should not. I've seen the videos that, like, there was a truck going faster than me. There was cars going faster than me in certain areas, but they didn't pull them over. The cops that pulled me over ended up speeding past me later, which I understand. That's normal to see after you get pulled over. Cops speed past you because cops are just fucking assholes. Like, they do not give a fuck. They do not give a fuck. So what's my point? My point is, so I got pulled over 2 times today. One in each state. One in New Mexico, one in Arizona. The one in Arizona, you know what? I could give it some validation. I was going pretty fast because I was, needing to go where I needed to go. Did I really need that ticket? No, because I'm a tourist, and me explaining to you, like, you could have. He's like, oh, you know what? You were signaling and going through all the lanes perfectly fine, and he knew that I had some validation in how I drove, but he still decided to say to me, oh, he decided to question me too, like, well, why are you in Arizona? Why did you fly to Los Angeles to drive all the way to New Mexico? That doesn't make any sense. He's like, so he ended up thinking I was a drug trafficker, and he wanted to check out my car, and he says, I have reasonable suspicion that you're trafficking drugs. And I was like, why? Because I have, like, fucking shades on that look like a fucking what's his name, sorry, like, just like a fucking drug lord or something. I don't know. And anyways, I don't know what it's out here. I don't understand the area. I'm not from here. But New Mexico and Arizona, I don't care how fucking beautiful you are. I don't care what kind of food you have. Unfortunately, it's going to be on the worst states that I've ever visited. I visited, this is going to be, I think, 30 states now that I've seen. I'm going to go see 31, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And unfortunately, these are at the 2 bottom. I'd rather go to Florida. I'd rather go to Virginia. I'd rather go to Ohio before coming here. I don't care how beautiful you are. If I'm going to be coming here and getting a ticket for going 10 miles over the speed limit, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And you're not even going to, like, give me a warning. Like, I explained to both officers, I was like, listen, I'm a tourist here. I'm here to I'm not here on the normal. You could check my, they check my record. They know that I am not from here. They could obviously tell that I have nothing on my record about speeding or anything like that. I'm a good, clean soul. Like, so you're not even gonna give me a warning? That means you're here for the money. You're here for the money, and you're not here to support tourism in your state. So, if I'm coming here to spend my money, right, which is gonna support your businesses through tax and whatever, you should allow me to be able to come in. These roads out here are long as fuck. Nothing to see, just darkness. The first ticket was in the middle of the day. The second ticket was in the middle of the night. I know I didn't explain my story 100% well, but it's just overall opinion. And I've watched the videos. There was one video I watched. This lady said, she's like, there was a truck driving right next to me, and he was going faster too. And the same thing happened with me. These trucks, I have to, just for clarification, because I'm all over the place. I explained my first ticket in Arizona. My second ticket was this, because I didn't get to explain it, is that I was pulled over for going 75 in a 65. So that's 10 miles over the speed limit. After the first ticket, I was like, okay, listen, I'm going to put on cruise control. We're just going to cruise. In Arizona, the speed limit was 75. Yes, there were some spots where it went down, but it was just 75. It went down like maybe 10 miles. So I was like, okay, listen. So I'm just going to put it on cruise. So I put it on cruise at 75, and I'm cruising at 75. And so I hit New Mexico. As soon as I hit New Mexico, I did not see a sign that said that it went to 65. But the cop apparently was at a speed trap, which is very normal, but he caught me going 75 in a 65. So, number one, he pulls me over, and I saw him behind me too, and I'm like, listen, I'm going 75. I didn't know it was 65. So when he pulls me over, he's like, do you know how fast you were going? I said, yeah, I was going 75 because that's the speed limit. He's like, no, this speed limit right here is 65. Now, let's get into the point, though. The point is, actually, when I ended up leaving him later on, there's a sign, 0.1 miles, right from where he pulled me over, that it ended up changing back to 75. So whatever he pulled me over for 65, changed to 75. So that means he was that much of a dick, and they're looking for money. So that pissed me off. That pissed me the fuck off. That's number one. All right, because that's what I ended up seeing later. Number two, he asked me to come out the car too, and meanwhile, it was 3 degrees. 3 degrees, and he asked me to come outside, stand in front of him at his car while he's standing in the car going to issue me the ticket. So there's 2 officers. One was like, I guess, the good cop, and the other one was the bad cop, the one that's going to give me the ticket. So he said, in New Mexico out here, they ask you if you think you're guilty right then and there on the spot. They don't just give you the ticket and issue you to go, unlike at almost every other state. So you have to tell them, are you guilty or not? So that kind of feels like an infringement on my rights. Like, what the fuck? You're gonna ask me if I think I'm guilty or not? Let me talk to my lawyer. Let's talk about the situation. And I mean, I basically assumed guilt by telling you that I did speed by going 75 already, because that's what I thought the speed was. I know the smart answer was, say, oh, I don't know how fast I was going, but I knew how fast I was going because I thought that was the speed limit. So I wasn't being a dick, about saying like, oh, I'm going 140 or 150 or whatever. No. I was just going 10 miles over the speed limit as a tourist on cruise control. So he's like, no, you're going 10 miles. And so I watched some videos. So that's the thing out here. Cops don't care. Even if you're going 5 miles, especially in New Mexico, they don't care specifically, because I watched a bunch of videos on New Mexico. They do not care. If they see you're over like 5 miles, they're gonna pull you over. And apparently, if you go over 20, if you go 20 miles or plus over the speed limit in Arizona, he said not in New Mexico, but it depends how fast you go in New Mexico, you could go straight to jail. And you would be considered doing a felony, which I've never seen in my life. Maybe it is in New York. I'm not sure. I might have to do some more research. But basically, I got 2 tickets in a row. It's just I really want to share this story with myself, regardless of who cares to watch the content. I know this video is very long, but that's my story. Number 1 story: pulled over for speeding. Was there some validation in it? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not here to assume guilt. The second one, yes, I was speeding, but at what I was caught at was a speed zone as a tourist. So you're going to come and take a ticketed money for me for only going 10 miles over the speed limit at 1 o'clock in the morning in New Mexico, make me stand outside in the cold at 3 degrees to try to get me to assume guilt or not. And by the way, the cop ends up being your prosecutor. So it's like the cops are explaining to me, oh, since he's going to be your prosecutor, you're going to have to say, do you think you're guilty or not guilty? If you say you're not guilty, then from there, you'll be assigned a court date. And then from there, you'll be able to talk to the officer to basically be able to decide. The officer will be able to decide what he wants you to do. And he would decide that with the judge. If the judge agrees, to basically come down to a lower sentence. If not, you can be found guilty and increase your insurance and whatever and blah, blah, blah. So it's so ridiculous because it's like, bro, you could have gave me a warning. I could have actually liked this state in some way because, you actually pulled me over for only going 10 miles over the speed limit and understand that I'm a tourist. And then now I'm just going to drive a little slower since I understand you guys pull me over at 10 miles an hour. But no, I go 10 miles over the speed limit and you give me a ticket. So giving me that ticket doesn't make me want to spend money in your state, which decreases your tourism. And I hope some Arizona official or New Mexico official sees this because honestly, yes, they're stupid drivers, and probably these people in these states are probably mad stupid. But I'm from New York. I'm an Uber driver. I work fucking very hard, and I drive thousands of hours on different roads, and I understand how to drive in certain conditions and not. Yes, I know I'm not from this area. Yes, I know I had a rental. Yes, I know this, that. Yes, I know principles. I understand this. But I've said this before to my own personal friends. If you know how you look up someone's record and you understand that someone's, obviously has a past record or not. I wish there was like a Netflix subscription service for people who do drive fast and are safe and understand how to drive in conditions. Not the people who are idiots, because there's people who drive fast, try to do bumper to bumper shit, and end up flipping their car because they don't understand how to drive their car. No. This is like people like me and other people who are actual people who know how to drive their car, I've driven tons of cars, drive fast, drive safely, and know how to not be a dick, how to follow the laws, signal, and all that stuff. A Netflix subscription that allows people who do follow the law to be able, the only thing that they're breaking is driving fast. That's it. They're just breaking the speed limit, whether it be 10 miles over the speed limit, 5. You could maybe put a threshold on it, but this is something that I've always thought of would be fair for people who do like to drive fast. You are allowed to unlock your fast driving capabilities as long as you commit no damage to property or people. Then why shouldn't you be allowed to go? Yes, I've gone over the speed limit, sure, just like every normal human being. I'm not telling you how much I've gone over the speed limit, but yes, maybe I've gone 40, 50, 60, 70, maybe sometimes, or maybe I've gone over, on average, maybe 10. I'm not sure, maybe. I'm not assuming guilt here, but the point is, if you go 1 miles, a cop could still pull you over. If the weather conditions change, he could still pull you over. The system in America for speeding does not make any sense, and some of these are made for when fucking horses were around. So my point is that I don't like these states because of the fact that you're here to take tourist money from me and guaranteedly take the money from me through speeding. Come on. There's people in New York that go fucking 5 miles over the speed limit, and the cop sees them go that much faster, and he's like, yeah, I'm not going to pull him over. What the fuck? I'm not a dick. Yeah, sure. There's New York cops that are dicks that fucking do some fucking horrible things. But in terms of speeding, from what I've seen, there's plenty of people who go way faster past cops and nothing really happens. So out here, you're going to see me go 10 miles over the speed limit, pull me over for that. You're going to see me go fast on a straight lane for it's like 30 miles fucking going straight, and you're gonna pull me over and give me a ticket for that. I'm being respectful. I'm a tourist, and you're gonna treat me that way? No, fuck out of here. I've been to Utah, and I sped, and that's not even on purpose because the roads out there are just so empty. You can't even control it because you're putting your foot on the wheel, on the pedal, and you're just going fast. Like, you can't even control the fact that you're going that fast because the roads are that empty. And the cops know it too because they speed. 100%, I promise you, I know that the cops are going to speed even when I'm not around. So you're not even going to give a tourist a break? Like, that's fucked up. You're just here for money. So fuck out of here. So now I'm just gonna get some food. I'm not even gonna go see a tourist attraction or anything. And yes, I'm not gonna give these states the fair chance. I already spent money at the Grand Canyon. I saw the Grand Canyon. I would have loved to see New Mexico. That was a state that I really wanted to see. But why, if I'm not coming back, because I don't feel like coming back. If I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna be coming with someone driving me for sure. Or why am I gonna go 60 miles an hour? Because that's the only way I'm going to know that I'm not going to get caught from any cop or anything. 60 miles an hour on hundreds of miles of road. And there's no public transportation that supports, anything else. So you're basically trapping people. You're trapping people. And that's the most fucked up thing, honestly. I don't care how pretty your women are. I don't care any of that. I don't care, there's some beautiful Latinos here. I don't care how good your food is. I could go to Roosevelt Avenue, double park, and go get myself some good-ass Latino food before coming out here for hundreds of miles and getting a speeding ticket, having my insurance go up. Fuck out of here. 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 I was so pissed. Last night I was so pissed. I slept for like 10, 12 hours because I knew that I wasn't going to fucking see this place. I'm going to go back all the way to Los Angeles right now. I'm sorry, San Diego. I'm going to go see my friend, and then I'm going to go shoot over to Nevada. I'm going to go see what's there to see in Vegas. If Vegas is the same way, which I would assume it's not because I've heard so many good stories about Vegas and Nevada and how, appreciative they are, and, they obviously understand the tourism, they respect it, that is going to be it. Yeah. Guys, I know this is a 21-minute video about me ranting, but this is more for personal reflection than anything else. I really want to remember the anger, the frustration, the disrespect 3 degrees. I was standing outside in 3-degree weather. The officer was not like, oh, do you want to go get your coat? Do you want to, because I didn't know it was 3 degrees out here. No, the weather fucking changes like that. It's fucking like 50 degrees right now, or 60 degrees, something like that right now. Last night it was 3. So that's how it changes out here in the desert. So you're making me stand in 3-degree weather, and you could hear I'm nasal from the fucking cold yesterday. You're making me stand out in that weather and over a 10-mile over the speed limit at 1 o'clock in the morning, and it's just a fucking game. It's a game. It's a trap. It's disrespect. Arizona, New Mexico, listen, you guys have some of the most emptiest roads. I've seen emptier, but you have some of the emptiest roads, and you're pulling people over. I would assume someone who's drug trafficking would not be speeding unless they're on the fucking drugs, which is fine. Go pull them over. But if you see that I'm talking to you normal and I have, yes, okay, maybe I have the shades, you could judge me that way. But once I tell you I'm from New York, and I was even nice enough to let him break my rights and show him my trunk. If anything, I would have said, you know what, this kid is actually, working with me. I'm not going to give him a ticket. That's at least for Arizona. You know what I mean? I'm not going to give him a ticket. I'm going to give him a warning. That's personally what I think, because I let you break my rights, right? I did not have to show you the trunk, all right? You could have done anything else, but I did not have to show you the trunk. I decided to work with you so that you could understand, like, listen, I am a tourist. There's no lying in that, because there was nothing in my front seat to prove that I wasn't a tourist. And as a tourist who's going to see the Grand Canyon, and I dropped like $300 to go take that helicopter tour or whatever, which is a whole other video I want to explain, you should let me go. In my personal opinion. If you see me speeding again, you give me the warning. If you see me speeding again, then that's a different story. You could tell your buddies down the block, yo, bro, I got Pete over here. He's a known speeder. If you see him speeding again, take him in, or something like that. That makes sense, because I ended up not speeding anymore because I realized, okay, Waze doesn't work out here. So because nobody likes to fucking click the button. So if nobody wants to click the button and tell people where cops are, then obviously the Waze doesn't work, and I don't have a radar detector, so I'm pretty much fucked. So I put my speedometer at the speed limit, which is what I did, and that's it. And so the fact that New Mexico decides to be even worse, it's like, bro, fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. I'm not going to drive in hours of miles, okay? Hours of my time to go see something for one thing that's like, you have nothing in between but desert. It's just waiting to be developed. All right, that's pretty much it, because nobody's gonna fucking stay in the desert. There's coyotes, there's fucking all these crazy animals here that I fucking saw. All right, so no, personally, no. Fuck these states. I don't care how pretty the women are. I don't care none of that. I don't care what you have to offer. I do not think it's worth it. That's honestly it. Yeah, I talked about the tickets. I talked about the disrespect. I talked about what I feel. I don't care what's here. I think that's honestly it. I had. It's funny because it's just so funny because I really was expecting these states to wow me, but especially Arizona. But they honestly didn't. They just seemed like tourist traps, and worse than tourist traps. Just honestly, the worst states I've ever seen. Because some states, they understand you. You're a tourist. Listen, we're not here to get tourists. We're here to get locals who obviously are not from here, who speed all the time. That makes sense. Like, in New York, you pull me over. Okay, I'm from here. I got you. You know what I mean? I know these roads. Okay, you caught me. Whatever. Just cut a person a break. You know what I mean? And the fact that you have to tell the officer that you're guilty or not right there on the scene. That sounds like an infringement on your rights. You should really, just give me the ticket and then let me decide what I decide to do, because I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not from here, but I don't think personally these are going to be states I'm coming back to. Unless some local says like, yo, Pete, come out with me. I'll show you the ropes. I'll show you where to go, what to do, all that kind of stuff. No. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Unless somebody wants to come and tell me to come and chill with them. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I know it's a long video. I think I'm officially done. I'll be doing some more videos of this blog style to describe some other things that happen out here. But that was the biggest disrespect, biggest annoyance, biggest everything that's making me probably never going to come back here for a long time. That's pretty much it. All right, guys. Be safe. Any questions, let me know. I did some research about these states, so if you want to understand what research and what videos I watched to be able to come to this kind of analysis about these states, let me know. Yeah, I do not recommend or support tourism inside of Arizona or New Mexico in any capacity, especially if you're going to be driving, which is the only transportation out here. The only thing I support is you seeing the Grand Canyon, but that's it. Just once in your life, go see it. Get that awe-dropping experience, but that's it. Do not come here for anything else. I'm going to go see a couple, maybe Phoenix or Tucson, probably Phoenix, just to see what's in Phoenix, because that is South Arizona. But that's it, just because I was in North Arizona, so that's the only thing I could say is different, because on the way back to San Diego, so as I'm on my way back, at least I'm going to see Phoenix, just to say, okay, I saw it. Maybe it's a little different culture down there. Arizona is higher on my radar than New Mexico, but it's still at the bottom. Out of all the states I've seen, it's still at the bottom. So, and you're just, I have friends, I have New Yorkers. I'm just saying, if any locals, any person who's involved in law enforcement or in politics sees this, just know that I have New York friends. I have people that I know from all over. I'm an Uber driver, so people are going to ask me what states I like. And you are going to not get tourism from the people that I know because of the disrespect that you did to one person. Just saying, you didn't know my influence. You don't know who I am. So that's all I'm saying. You don't know who the fuck I am, bro. And who I know and who you're not going to get. Listen, there's going to be people you're going to get out here. Sure. But I want to make sure that people who cause me disrespect, who fuck over my life like that, get every ounce back. You may come at me because of this video. Maybe I say, oh, we're gonna come at, but that just shows who you are. As in politics and law enforcement, you're gonna say, oh, we saw this video, Peter's obviously not supporting Arizona or New Mexico, so we're just gonna we're just gonna make sure that he gets the full extent of the law now, since we're gonna be losing tourism and blah blah blah. Well, no. If you're really smart, what you should do is contact me and say, hey, listen, you know what? We actually fucked up. We appreciate your video, and we actually agree with your idea that, listen, in terms of tourism, we actually prefer to get 5 people in this state and get taxes through that than give one person a ticket who's never going to come back again. That's pretty much it. That's what you should do. You should, now I have to go hire a lawyer because I'm not from here, because I'm not coming back. I have to go do all this extra nonsense. When I wanted to do extra nonsense for your tourism, that's the point. That I wanted to spend it on your food and your people and the environment. Now you're ruining your economy. And that's what states don't understand. New York gets tons of tourism, and sure, there's people who get parking tickets, and those are offenses that sure make sense. Go into a parking lot. That's why there's the option to take a train. There's an option to go parking. All those options exist to be able to prevent you from being able to get these violations. But we don't trap people. Sure, yeah, there's traps there that officers do, but in general, there's always the other option for you to take if you don't like one system. If you end up speeding, you could go take the train. You do DUIs, you could take an Uber. Like, those are the other options. If you are going to do something that's offensive, to the environment, there's other options. Out here, there's nothing but road, and it's open as fuck, and you're going to pull people over for going 10 miles over the speed limit? That's ridiculous. Just to get some money? Get a local, sure, because he knows, okay? But, and it is, even if you got a local at 10 miles over the speed limit, if he's driving normal, there should really honestly be a warning kind of system. And if you see him speeding every day and you're just like, oh, it's Jimmy, he just speeds 10 miles every day, but he's honestly okay, why would you want to give him a ticket? You're just looking to get his money. That's honestly the fucked up thing. So why not create a subscription service, like I mentioned, to be able to just let Jimmy speed to his 10 miles because he's okay. You know what I mean? He's doing it every day for 10 miles over the speed limit, but he's not creating any damage. So just create a subscription service, so a lower amount that doesn't affect his insurance, because obviously there should be no effect on his insurance because he's creating no damage. So if he's creating no damage by going 10 miles over the speed limit, 20, whatever it is, because he knows how to drive, he knows the roads, he knows what to do, then he should be okay. Yes, maybe once every blue moon he may get something, where he ends up hitting something, or an elk comes out of nowhere that 1 week or one time of the year. But honestly, you shouldn't be that fucked up to Jimmy. That's all I'm saying. I go on so many tangents. I know that. Yeah, I really think I should end this. I think my point was given. If anybody does watch this for that long, kudos to you. But this is more for me. And any Arizona, New Mexico politician, law enforcement, step up your game. Learn the importance of tourism, and look at what other states are doing successfully versus you. And that's pretty much it. I'm probably going to make a shorter video of this real quick to kind of explain my situation. I know I went on a huge tangent, so I feel like if someone cares to learn more, they should probably watch the smaller video, and then obviously this is the longer one for general purposes if someone cared to obviously hear my point of view. This is more of a point of view explanation, sharing with myself, than anything else. I know there's going to be some people who really care about travel and want to know things about this, and it's going to say why I do not support